alive than you and I. Okay? And the only reason that you don't see the activity from nature and the trees and things like that is because all of your trees are frozen in a time spell. Like I've always taught in many lectures before, the trees anciently used to sing out frequencies. Okay? And they still do if you listen close enough. All plant life sings out frequencies. Okay? Now, most of us, because we were vibrating at a lower vibration and they had completely severed our connection with nature, you wasn't aware of that. Okay, the most you might have heard was the chirping from crickets, right? Most of us wasn't even aware about the bees, all right? And the reason why you hear the zzz, that's a vibration, and they are only attracted to what's vibrating high. That's all a part of nature and the planet being alive. The bees vibrate at a frequency of 550 hertz. This is why I say it's imperative that we learn about hertz and really what they are in vibration. Okay, the law of vibration is a very real thing. All right. It's a real thing, all right? So the planet is alive. Nature is alive, okay? And the planet has a heartbeat. So when you're talking about meditation, if you want to know why meditation works, have you ever meditated and then you just feel better? Even if you just sit there for a little while, you feel better. There's no way you can meditate and not feel better. It's not going to happen, all right? Unless you go into meditation expecting something crazy. But if you just go into meditation and just sit there and be at peace, meditation is more about sitting still and letting everything go. Because when your eyes open, you being affected with this light cold lockdown. That's what light cold lockdown is. You are an electrical being. You are a spirit and a soul. Remember that. You are a spirit and a soul at your core. That's electricity and magnetism. The soul is magnetism. The spirit is electricity. I know you hear it, but do you understand what I'm saying to you? You know, we can hear shit all the time. Do you understand what you're hearing? Because remember, just because you do, don't mean the other 3,000 people on here is. We all resonate on different frequencies. We all at different parts of our journey. All right? We all on different parts of our journey. But we live in a magnetic realm. All right? This is why magic works. Because we are magnets. The planet itself has an electromagnetic frequency around it, and so does yourself. You have an electromagnetic frequency around your avatar that they call an aura. But we just not finding out about that. What they don't tell you is that the planet, how alive she is. They don't tell you that. They don't tell you that. Because if they told you that, you would be against them cutting trees down. Even the trees that we see that we think are trees, like I've always told you, those are 30-millimeter bushes. This whole live is about nature right now because we talk about the 33rd parallel. And for you to understand the 33rd parallel and why is it such a strong energy source, you have to understand that the planet is alive, that the parallels are veins. Just like you have veins, the planet, she has veins. I repeat, just like you and I have veins in our avatar, the planet, Kai, she has veins in her avatar. All right? In her veins, they call them parallels or ley lines. All right? They call them parallels and they call them ley lines. All right? But they don't really talk about it like that. You know, ley lines, because it's a metaphysical thing, they'll write it off as a conspiracy theory. Anything that these oppressors, that the oppressors cannot prove or understand that's beyond their own comprehension, they'll just write it off and call it a conspiracy theory. Or if they know about it and they don't want you to access it, they'll call it a conspiracy theory. Or if anybody that's aware of the esoteric information, because they'll get the information and hide it from the public. But they know that they can't stop you from going within and accessing the Akashic records that are inside of you. So if you do raise your frequency enough to a high enough level to go within yourself and access these Akashic records, they'll write you off as a conspiracy theorist. I mean, America with 3 Ks has a whole bunch of titles for free thinkers, all right? Individuals that are very, very tapped in with the frequencies of the planet around here. They have a lot of names for us, all right? Sometimes they call us healers. Sometimes they call us clairvoyant. Sometimes they call us crazy. Sometimes they call us the chosen ones. Sometimes they call us awoken ones. Sometimes they call us conspiracy theorists. Sometimes they call us an occult. Sometimes they call us witches and warlocks when really that's them. I mean, they got a lot of different slick terminology to hide the fact that the planet is alive from you. I mean, remember, they consider this voodoo right here, y'all, because it's a black god sitting right here in a meditative position. It's a statue of a black god. But if it was Jesus sitting like that, shit, everybody love a nigga, wouldn't it? You see the priming. That's the priming I was talking about. This how they prime your ass. You see? Autobots. And what was the leader of the Autobot name? Optimus what? Prime. Now, what's priming? Priming is when they put a bunch of visuals and audio and messages around you, but they do it subliminally. So you're not aware of it. But the whole time it stays on your conscious. They prime your subconscious. And your subconscious is your soul. Your subconscious tells your conscious what to do. You see? They've been priming you your whole life for this moment. They've been priming us. So that when we rise again, we start doubting it. You know? The form of priming you. They needed complete control. So they had to sever our connection to nature. All right? They had to sever our connection to nature. And why did they have to do that? Because she is alive. She is alive. So if she is alive, that means that she can speak and talk like you. And if they came to your planet and landed on your planet in their year of 1492, hijacked the planet, causing you and your species to fall in frequency, completely severed our connection with nature by killing the animals, killing the insects, and attacking the plant life, all right? To corrupt the chloroplast files that we had in sync between us and the plant life and nature. Because no plant life can grow without Kai. So when you talk about the plant life, you talk about nature and flowers and vines and all of that and minerals and soil, you're talking about Kai. We talk about Kai today. Peace to her. You know, she get treated like she's not even here. Like she's just some nigga come outside, walk all on her back. Motherfucker come outside, talk all type of shit. Don't show no love or respect to her. Motherfuckers just get up and use her for resources, just like these oppressors, because that's how they trained you to do. They primed you to think that the planet is not alive. So when they go around and they make their construction companies and they excavating up the soil, you don't see nothing wrong with it. You ever wonder why, like, the soil on top of under the grass is like, it's like a palish black. But then when you dig under the soil, it's this beautiful black. Like you could tell fresh soil from like, you know the difference. When you try to plant something, the soil be kind of pale on top where the grass is growing compared to the soil that's inside the core of the planet. Why is that? You see? When you going inside of her, that's no different than somebody taking a knife and going inside of you. And going digging inside of your guts and digging out plugs out of your body. It's the same thing. And what's going to happen? That real fresh tender meat is red and white. That white meat they talk about. We got cut so bad they got stabbed to the white meat, right? That tender side, the tenderness of the flesh. Yeah. The planet she has that too. Right? She has that too. When you go inside the soil, you're going inside, you're not just going inside, you're not just digging up some dirt. All right? You can't look at it like that. All right? You're asking the planet to give you a part of herself. She has to sacrifice a piece of her body for you to grow your fruit, for you to grow your vegetation. This is why we always had that connection and communion and camaraderie with nature, because we understood that anciently. You know, we came down to this planet to help the planet rise in frequency, to build her up. We didn't come down here to destroy Kai. We didn't come down here to neglect Kai. We didn't come down here to manipulate the energy of Kai, neither. We didn't come down here to do none of that. And originally when we landed, we did not do that. Our ancestors did not live like that. Right? Like I say, when you got to take a piss, you won't even give your urine back to the soil, but you're supposed to. When it's time for you to urinate, did you know you're supposed to urinate outside? You're supposed to do that outside and give that back to nature, because most of your urine and your feces is coming from what? The things that you put in your body. So most of the things you put in your body grows from nature. Even the shit that they're tampering with. Even when they doing the clone meat, when they cloning the chickens and they cloning and feeding you rats and telling you it's chicken. When they feeding you clone turkey, clone this, clone that, they're still using ingredients from nature in their laboratories, because they're not making their own ingredients from scratch. They're just using their ingredients in a negative way to put a negative intent into what they're giving you with an intent to hurt us and to hurt us, right? The protectors of the planet. You see, it all correlates together. But you have points on the planet that are stronger than others. You have points on the planet where energy flows differently. All right? And the oppressors are well aware of this flow of energy. They are aware of it. But they have to hide it from the public so that only they have access to it. Remember, it always was and always will be more of us than them. So the things they use to corrupt the connection is division. Division, secrecy, and misinformation. If the oppressors can keep you outside of yourself by severing your tie to nature, making you feel like you have no obligation to cultivate the land or nurture nature or work side by side with her, then guess what? They won the war. And this is what they have been doing forever, severing our connection from nature. The 33rd parallel is the most powerful, energetic, if you want to call it a ley line, on the realm. All right? It's the most powerful one. And when you look up ley lines, they don't tell you the truth about ley lines. They make you think that ley lines run straight across. If you look at the screenshot that I put up of the 33rd parallel, I used it as the thumbnail for this lecture today. Notice that line runs clean across from LA to Atlanta. That's cool. But the thing about, even in that picture, they still lying to you about the way energy flows around the planet. The planet, because she's alive, she has endless amount of veins, just like you and I. Think about the way veins flow through your body. You have veins flowing all through your body. Some veins got little mini veins that dip off and go different ways. And it's the same thing with the veins of the planet. So let's stop calling them parallels. Let's call them what they are. The veins of the planet, because she's a living, breathing entity. The planet is the physical body of Kai. She has spirit and soul just like you and I. Just like this avatar is just your physical avatar, but you are the spirit and soul inside controlling the avatar. It's the same thing with the planet, with the soil that you walk on. That's just the physical body. She has spirit and soul. All right? You can connect with her. You can communicate with her. She is alive. This is why they go out their way to destroy her. If she was dead, they wouldn't be trying to, you can't kill what's already dead, right? So when you see them building new cities, when you see them building new buildings, that's all a part of killing the planet. Every time they build a playground, every time they build a business, every time they build an arena, a school, a jail, anything that involves having to use trailer tractors and machines to cut into her body and dig her body up and throw her all over the place, which they call dirt. Anything that involves that is killing her, along with the machines they're using that's poisoning the levels of the air. All right? All of that's a part of destroying nature. All of it. You got to see it for what it is, because that's exactly what they're doing. You think how many times in your city have you motherfucking rolled around and you will see them they'll start a construction site, right? On the north side. They'd have tore the whole street up. Tore the whole motherfucking street up. And then leave it like that. They don't even finish it. It just be little construction, little bars around. And then you go to another side of the city, they tearing some more shit up. You go somewhere else in your city, they building new homes, and you think like, oh, they building new stuff because we need it. That's not what they doing. They literally tearing up the planet. Literally. And you have to see it for what the fuck it is. Understanding that the planet is alive and understanding your connection to nature. So every time they build some new shit where they got to go up under her and flip the dirt and all of that, poison in the soil, they poisoning you. We have a direct genetic link with the planet. It's called chloroplast. I see people drinking chlorophyll, motherfuckers eat leaves, but don't even understand why chlorophyll works. Don't even understand why it's so powerful for us, because we have a direct connection to the planet. We have a direct connection to the planet. You are a plant. You are a plant. You created the plants. You created the planet. And Source created the spirit and soul of Kai. The same Source that created our spirits and souls. So if you look at your genetics, if you have carbon in your skin, and who are the carbonated beings? Your so-called Black and Latino people. This is the shit that make us gods. Why we are Anunnaki gods and goddesses. We just can't throw the title around. All right? We don't have DNA. We don't have DNA. Human beings, you all have DNA. Who are the human beings? Caucasians, Asians, Mexicans, Dravidians, and Arabs. Those are your human beings, races. All right? And they get deeper than that, because you got some Asians, what they call Asians that are not Asians, they still the gods and goddesses, like Vietnamese and Filipinos and Laos, but that's a whole nother lecture. All right? Let's just stay on the basics right now. Same thing with the Mexicans. You got Mexican lineages that they the gods, but they hidden as Mexicans. That's why you go to Mexico and you'll see some Mexicans darker than me, right? But it get deeper. It get deep. So that's a whole nother lecture. But let's stay focused. Your main human being races, all right? Caucasians, Asians, Mexicans, Dravidians, Arabs, all come from Nern in the 6th universe. Okay? Your God races, all the nations that are considered blacks or Africans or African Americans or Jamaicans, and all your Latino nations. Those are all your gods and goddesses, right? Now, if you look at our genetics and you look at the genetics of the human beings, you will see two different things. Like I say, you look at our genetics, we have DEA, deoxyetheric acid. We don't have DNA, all right? We have 9 series of what you call DEA strands. Whereas human beings, you only have 6 series, all right? We have RNA. Human beings, you don't have any RNA. We also have chloroplasts. All right? Chloroplast is the same thing that plants have. Chloroplast is the DNA of plants. Okay? Who do you think named it a planet? We did. We called it a planet. It's like a double entendre. A planet because it was plant-based. This is why when they first came here, they had to cut so many trees down and destroy nature. It was plant-based. All right? Because we are plants. All right? So this is why it's called a planet. All right? On top of that, the T used to represent Tiamat. Because Tiamat is one of the ancient names of Kai. Right? Before we called her planet Kai, or Kai, we were saying Tiamat, then Kai. Well, really Kai first, and then Tiamat. Because this is the planet of the Anunnaki. Right? This was our second home to our headquarter planet, Sirius X. Of all your Black and Latino people that you see walking around here today, and all your African lineages and all of that shit. All right? This is our esoteric connection. This is why it's even called a planet. All right? This is why the oppressors, when they started to take over our planet, when they started creating their factories, because they don't create anything because they are soulless beings. All right? And in order to be creative, you need a soul. That's a metaphysical thing. Without a soul, you will lack creativity. You will lack harmony and rhythm. This is why the food be bland, and this is why y'all ass can't catch the beat of music. Those are just two little things. This is why you're not as athletic as us. Facts. And we go deeper and deeper and deeper. All right? But everything that the oppressors did, they mocked what we did. They didn't create nothing new. We fell in frequency, and then they remade the same shit we had going on, but they used a negative intent for it. So we had a planet, all right? Plant-based, everything. We have a genetic connection to the plants. We are one with the plants. It's called chloroplast. It's a genetic. It's one of our genes. This is why everybody that's into herbalistic healing, anybody that's into herbalistic healing knows what chlorophyll, how healthy chlorophyll is for you. But why is chlorophyll so good for you? You might not know that though. It's because you have chloroplast in you. You are a motherfucking plant. Right? We don't need food. I did a whole lecture on food last year on Facebook. Broke it down about the father and the etymology of the words. Food is what you give to cattle. We are looked at as cattle, so they feed us food. Or the original Greek term for it was fodder, F-O-D-D-E-R, fodder. Look it up. All right? Before it was food, it was fodder. But if you look at it, it's something that you give to cattle or chattel, which is how the oppressors view us. We never ate that way. We only ate from the light of the sun because we are electricity and energy. We only need energy. Meat slows us down. It clogs us up. So we ate the energy from the sun's rays, the photon energy, and the water from the aquatic realms. Fruits and vegetables are what appetizers for us. Nuts, fruits, and vegetables, that was like dessert. That was dessert. Our main ingredient, energy from the sun and natural aquafina water, the natural water, how it used to be organically. This is why our locks grow out like this. Because we are plants. How do plants eat? They eat through a process called photosynthesis. And they eat through receiving the sun's light and water. Same way we do. The more sunlight hits your crown chakra, the longer your locks get, the stronger they get, the more they grow. The antennas get A lot of people ask me, how your locks grow out so fast? Because I'm on the 33rd parallel in Atlanta, Georgia, out here getting all this motherfucking photon energy, meditating for hours in the goddamn sun. That's how my locks grew out so fast. They still growing like that, right? Because we are plants. So I'm connecting us to the planet right now, so you can understand why the 33rd parallel is so powerful and why they hid it from you. We are plants. We are plants. Or should I say plants are us? Look at the roots of a tree, or the 30-millimeter bushes, but we can call them today's trees. Of today's trees. It's memes running around, floating all over the internet, showing you that. The same roots, the same way the roots of the tree stretches out in the soil, it's the same way the motherfucking veins in your heart stretches out. Look the same exact way. Why is that? That's a cosmic thing that we set up that can never be erased. The same way your heart, the veins of your heart look, go look at the roots of a tree. Same pattern. Why is that?